All right, Aries, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for December 7th through the 13th. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you're new to this type of astrology or the channel, do check the description down below. All right, Aries, so another busy week in this first half of December. We've got a new moon taking place here in Ophiuchus of your 8th house on Friday. We've got Mercury going into Sagittarius, preceding that on Thursday. And quite the number of aspects taking place, as you can see here in the transit graph. So I'm going to go ahead and break these down one by one. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments below. So coming into this week, right on Monday, we start to enter into that balsamic phase. That's going to take the bulk of the week, which is that lowering of energies. It's a good time to reflect and have that introspective attitude. And on Monday, it's really finishing up a lot of things from the previous weekend, particularly relating to your ruler squaring up to Pluto. So this isn't the easiest transit to work with. It's been perhaps quite transformative this weekend, going into this week, depending on your personal chart with this. But it's all about changes with you, changes to the way that you assert yourself. You go through with your goals, your plans, really with your self-image. And the more open you are to that this early part of the week, I think it'll be a good segue into the rest of it. And then midweek, around Thursday, that Mars does oppose up to Uranus. So as we get closer to that middle part, it'll be increasingly important to have that balance, because there's a lot of motivation and drive in regards to your daily stuff, whatever you do on a daily level, which is the 6th house, and sort of pushing you or pulling you to maybe get some more rest and relaxation is Uranus. You know, this is all about spiritual freedom. Where can you have more of that liberation in your life? So it's all about balancing the work and the rest, or the spiritual and the physical, especially this middle part of the week. And watch going to any extremes, because sometimes this can create a sort of wanting to break free, wanting to do some sudden changes or some sudden identity, changes. But it's something to listen to, but when it's balanced and when it's done in harmony. But it is an excellent time, like I've been saying, for you guys to constructively work on and build essentially who you are, maybe even with your philosophy, because the focal point of this T-square is all pointing towards Pluto. This is all about changes to your philosophy, your outlook, your worldview. Your life path is changing, and there's a way to work with it constructively so that you can have this balance with the work and spiritual life, as well as with the more expansive life. So I think that's going to be the strongest emphasis for you, Aries. There's a couple other aspects taking place. We've got the sun trining up to Uranus, so there's support from the sun. With all this Mars energy, which is quite nice. The sun is our self-expression, especially in your natal chart, because it rules your 5th house. So you could be finding this first half of the week a good time to express yourself, try new things, and tap into a different perspective. It's all about refreshment with Uranus, always about doing something different, seeing things in a different way. And for you, maybe to have some of that playfulness, creativity, or self-expression into the daily sphere, which is activated for you. So I think that's going to play a role, as well as the sun squaring up to Chiron. I think we'll all be going through some sort of healing energy this week, and so being open to healing, I think, will be important. This is perhaps relating to anything on the ideal community or group level, maybe with organizations, which has been this temporary healing for you, but Chiron is finishing up that transit these next couple months. And then as we go into the weekend, Venus does trine up to Neptune. So that's quite nice for the one-on-one connections and relationships going into the weekend. It could be easy going, especially with, Venus, who naturally does rule your 7th house, really activates that. Could even be easy going for the material, financial aspects of things. So quite nice there. And then as we go into next week, and one thing I want to say too is, that new moon is going to be on Friday. Okay, so there is new beginnings taking place with the deeper aspects of yourself right now. It's a very good week for, like I was saying, introspection, but really asking yourself questions like, what is really meaningful to you? What kind of bonds are you forming in your life through your relationships? How can you release yourself from unhealthy relationships, unhealthy bonds or attachments? And it's not just in the relationship sphere, it could also be in just the material sphere as well. Where can you have a little bit more healthy codependency? And codependency, the emphasis there is on co, which is working together through mutual understanding versus one, aspect of it being lopsided. So this could be a good time for you to eliminate yourself from any debts, to eliminate yourself from any things that either you owe or that are owed to you, so that you can have more of that, liberation, because the 8th house is about transformation and removing those things that we are attached to so that we can have a more expansive view of life. But it's a great time to really go deep too, because it's a very spiritual house, very transformative. Do any healing work this week, and this next lunar cycle too will be a new chapter on that. So that's, I think, going to be the emphasis, and it usually is this way this time of the year. And then Mercury is making his way into Sagittarius. So I think naturally this middle part of the week, you'll probably start to think more about philosophy, spirituality, perhaps thinking more in an expansive view, which is great. Could even be quite optimistic also. So that's going to be a shift. Whereas I think you've been thinking a little bit more in terms of the deeper transformative things. There is a transformation with the mind happening this week. And it could even be expansive on a social or communicative level as well. So that's going to be the bulk of the week there, this later part. And then on Sunday, the sun does squares up to Jupiter. So it's important here to keep everything nice and grounded. But that'll be mostly an energy into next week, which I'll talk about. But I do want to say it is a good time to work constructively with this new expansive view of life, which I think is unfolding for you this week. All right, Aries, so have a good one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time for the daily or weekly. Take care.